You must be mad, crazy, and what on earth would you go to Iran for? And I'd say, well, hey, hang on a second, it's not Iraq, right? Because he was saying there's people being beheaded, and he said, but I know it's Iran, he said, but there's still Islamic fundamentalist extremists, right? What's a bunch of Americans going to Iran for?
Because I want to tell all of the American people that Iran is safe for all of them. Because we all are friends, we all are brothers, and we are one.
Oh wow, you wouldn't catch me going to Iran right now, especially if I'm an American. The outright, you are just the most crazy person around to even contemplate doing this.
But please, it's my slogan, come to Iran, see the reality. Reality is in the library that a man sees the other American man and talk to her, and then after that they go for cups of tea. Reality is in the heart of people.
He said, well, you know what, I'm just going to look out for news reports when you're out there of some stupid American astronomers getting kidnapped.
Some people, to some extent, think that Iranians are terrorists and dangerous for security of the world. But I don't think, because this is the reflection of, for example, mass media in other countries.
I didn't have a chance to get even a Farsi to English, phrase book, and I'd always planned to get one. I didn't even know how to say hello in Farsi. I can't find any book on Iran, no phrase book, nothing. And he went looking through his computer and stuff, and he said, you know what, no one goes to Iran these days. That's the tip of the iceberg that I experienced before going out to Iran. And it was just this overwhelming sense of, you don't know what you're doing, Liam. You really got to rethink this. So who in their right minds would want to travel to the Islamic Republic of Iran in order to watch a black dot go across the surface of the sun for 6 hours? Well, I guess I'm one of those people now. But the story, as far as what really propelled me to go to Iran, takes me much further, much more beyond simply the astronomy side of things, but a sense that I had prior to going that the Iranian people were not quite what I expected, and not quite what I think the average person in America or Britain really comes to expect of people in Iran, the axis of evil, all of that stuff. What we're talking about here is an event that is visible from many places on the earth, but centered around where Iran was actually one of the best places to see it. If you can think of it just like this, what it is the Earth. Obviously, we're going around in our orbit. Venus is going around in its orbit. The sun is where it always is. And it just so happens every 8 years we sort of meet up so that Venus is between us and the sun. But there's only one point on the orbit where if we happen to meet up in that zone, that's where Venus appears to go in front of the sun. That's why it takes 122 years approximately before it happens again. And the reason why it's visible in different ways from the surface of the Earth is that the Earth is spinning. So depending on the perfect time when Venus is going in front of the sun, the Earth is just doing what it always does and spinning 24 hours a day. And so there's a perfect zone on the Earth where the sun at the time of the transit is high up. Couldn't you find anywhere else to view the Venus transit? And she's absolutely right. Where you could go was Egypt, Egypt was a good place to look at it. You could go to the Greek islands. You could go for a cruise. You could go to Turkey, many places, India. So the big question is, you know, why on earth, with all of those opportunities, would you ever go to Iran? I just felt that I would have an opportunity to see the Iranian people where we shared a very strong and common foundation of an interest in astronomy. And for me, that provided an intriguing, I guess in the American vernacular, we had a front porch on which we could meet. And in this area, in terms of astronomy, it was something that we could use that as a foundation for us discussing things, and then we'd see where it goes from there. I mentioned before I was president of Orange County Astronomers, the largest astronomy club in the USA. We've got around 900 members. And it's in a county of 3 million. So I'm going to get to the point, which is where it is that I suddenly thought there's a story here. There's something going on here, and this was it. We had a visit from Mike Simmons, who's the vice president of the Mount Wilson Observatory Association. Up until that point, he'd been 3 times in the past to witness various eclipses and other things. And he got to know the astronomy community over there. And he came to tell our club in April of his experiences there. And he showed some amazing photos of some exchanges that he had during these eclipses with Iranian people who were as passionate, if not more passionate, about astronomy than I felt, you know, we are here in America. And this was what got me.
We visited a small town. This is a rural town where they're more conservative, agricultural town that's sort of out in the middle of the desert. But this town is different. This town has gone crazy over astronomy. I've never heard of anything like this in the entire world. Here we are meeting in front of this town. Now this town, when I say that they have gone crazy over astronomy, there's one teacher there who has started an astronomy program. He's gotten it to the point where he's got the whole town involved in astronomy. And in fact, they're building an observatory which is being funded entirely by the townsfolk. The women are selling their jewelry to raise money. So there's no government funds or anything. So this is really extraordinary.
What is it that makes a town of 10,000 people have an astronomy organization interest that's bigger than Orange County with 3 million people? I want to experience this because this is showing such a passionate interest in something that I'm also passionately interested in, that I wanted to go and spend some time with these people and to see just how much common ground we had. And so that was what really started me on that journey. I think there's something going on there that I wanted to experience. And it illustrated some aspect of the Iranian people that was far outside axis of evil. You know, for me, I felt, you know, I want to capture video of us and the Iranian people, all of us actually sharing this wonderful event. We arrived in the town of Sarat Shah and didn't quite know what to expect, but when we drive through in our bus, there's signs all around the place saying, huge signs everywhere, all around the town saying, welcome international astronomers to our town for the event of the Venus transit.